welcome. I love these episodes where we bring you some of our resetters who maybe were skeptical at first and after 3 weeks are amazed by what they've achieved. And Jackie is one of them. Welcome to the show, Jackie.
Good morning.
Why I'm especially excited about Jackie is she's like many of you. She's running a business. She's traveling up and down the country, speaking at events, because Jackie is a property mentor. Before we actually dive into what you've happened on this health journey, Jackie, tell us a little bit about what you do.
I have a rent-to-rent HMO portfolio and coaching is my passion. I started to coach people to do the same because it's given me freedom and I managed to get out of my job. I spread the word about how other people can do that. And one of my other missions is to get really healthy. I've started speaking at events and I'm busy scaling both fledgling businesses.
Absolutely. You've been amazing on this, Jackie. But before you started doing the 21-day reset, when you first heard about it, can you remember back to what you thought when you heard us talking about eating primal?
Yeah, so for me, the idea of primal eating is not a new one because I've always been interested in nutrition. I've done quite a lot of reading about primal health, about all the different types of diets that are more natural and probably go against the grain of what we're being told is healthy. So I already thought I knew quite a lot. And I do know quite a lot. I know a lot more than the average person when it comes to this field. But I have learned more on this. Yeah, I didn't think it was completely crazy, but I did have some skepticism because I know about keto and I was thinking, oh, it sounds very much like keto. But then when you explained it to me, then I was like, okay, it sounds like carnivore. But it's so much more than just carnivore. Even if we just label it as carnivore, it doesn't matter. It's so much more than that because you're teaching the lifestyle that goes with it, which I already kind of knew, but I wasn't doing it. That's the thing. We can know it, but I wasn't doing it.
That's very interesting. What took you from there thinking, I've done this before, I've tried keto, I've tried these things, didn't work for me, to actually thinking, I'll give this reset a try?
Good question, because I have been in the yo-yo dieting and I can't believe that I got into this trap. I used to look at other people and think, I'm never going to get into that trap. And yet I've been in that trap, which is crazy. You almost feel ashamed of it as well. How did I not stop myself from getting into this yo-yo dieting? I always told myself, well, it's not a diet, it's going to be my way of life. But I would try one thing and then fall off the wagon and then try another thing and fall off the wagon. And it was the mind space that it was taking. Like when you're a smoker, you're constantly trying to stop smoking and it takes up so much mind space. And it's horrible. I just wanted to escape from that mind space, the mind space that my yo-yo dieting was taking up in my head. You know, when you're constantly struggling and thinking, I really must start something healthy again. I just got really despondent and I kind of gave up starting things. When you give up hope, because it seemed like such a mountain, you kind of stop trying. Then I saw your posts and I thought, this is in the affirmations I tell myself every day. This is in my manifesto for myself to be healthy. I already knew who you were. I know that you operate with integrity. I knew that I could trust you already. And I thought, something's calling me. I'm going to have a chat with you. I was still a little bit skeptical, but I thought the one thing I haven't tried is getting the group support and the ongoing support, and there's one-to-one support. And that's the thing I thought, okay, that's one thing I haven't tried. So let me try that. That's how I ended up doing this.
Brilliant, because I'm sure that so many women and men will relate to, I've tried so many times, I've put so much effort in, I've then fallen off, I'm back to square one, or sometimes
worse.
Why would I put all that energy into something again? So, Jackie, let's move into talking about the transformation. Remembering a lot of these plans, you have to be on there for months to see a big difference. But we did this together for 21 days, 3 weeks. I'd love to know how much weight you lost, Jackie, in that time.
Yeah, I started at 14.11. I weighed myself this morning and I'm 14.2, so that's 4 weeks. And at the end of the reset, I think I was 14.5.
Yeah.
I'd lost 6 pounds.
In total, in 4 weeks, you've lost 9 pounds.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So that's about 4 kilograms in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Or about 3 kilograms in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you okay to say how old you are, Jackie?
I'm 57. I nearly forgot. You have to work it out. You have to work your date of birth out when you get to this age.
So for many of us listening who are over 50, this is thrilling as well, because we don't see those bigger weight loss. But the thing is, it's without starving. So we'll come to that in a minute of how you felt while you were doing it. You also saw some inch loss as well. So talk to us about that, Jackie.
So the inches are really interesting. In my first week, I noticed that I'd lost about half an inch off my waist. I measured my waist, hips, bust, upper arms and thighs. Nothing else had changed apart from my waist. But then I myself at the end, and I'd lost 2 inches off my waist. I can actually hold my tummy in now, whereas before I couldn't. I feel like I can now.
That's phenomenal, because that's a dress size you've lost 2 inches off your waist in 3 weeks. You can start to feel your body composition is changing. And the belly fat tends to be the visceral fat, which is the most dangerous type of fat. So that's great to see. Talk to us about the other things that happened in terms of your thinking, in terms of your energy.
I've always been a person that's never really had energy slumps. To begin with, I felt a little bit tired at times. With the one-to-one support in the 21-day reset, I was able to learn how to track and monitor what I've been eating, and I learned so much from that. My energy's been fine. My brain fog has definitely lifted. When I used to work in corporates, mainly the men, old school men, getting frustrated because I had to write notes down all the time because my brain fog didn't allow me to be as sharp and quick as they wanted me to be. That was terribly trying for so many of us. That has lifted. Everything has a sharpness to it now, which is like amazing. I love it. But also, my energy is consistent. I've learned to really tune into my body, and actually it helps us to take ownership as well, which is really empowering. The energy has been great. Sharpness of mind is amazing. People have just got to try it for this. Honestly, I thought I knew loads about myself, about nutrition. And one of the things that has been really big for me is how deep my programming has been. We're all programmed in our minds from society. A lot of our programming comes from society. We believe certain things. And I thought I bashed down some of that programming, but I still learned just how deeply programmed I am. One of the things is about when I should be eating. I learned that if I'm not hungry, it's okay to not eat. I'm not going to drop dead. I'm not going to get really unhealthy, end up in a hospital being jabbed with loads of God knows what medications. I'm going to survive, and I'm going to be okay. Eat when I'm hungry, when I'm truly hungry. Learn to listen to your body. But I still had this internal conflict that said, no, Jackie, it's 2 o'clock because I never eat breakfast. I just don't want it. So because of the one-to-one support, I had that support to say, just eat when you're ready. And the other thing was about portion size. And it's kind of like, okay, but that doesn't look like enough. So I'm not going to survive, and I'm going to get sick if I continue to eat small portions like this, because that's all I want. Because my portion size is like, sometimes I'll have a couple of lamb chops and I can't even eat the second lamb chop because it's so rich and nutritious. Our body is obviously saying don't need any more. I had this programming that said, like, your portions aren't big enough. You're not going to be eating enough calories, and therefore you're not going to have enough energy. Our energy can come from the fats that we're eating, but we've been programmed to think that our energy is coming from the carbs that we're no longer eating now. That was something that I clearly hadn't shaken off. And then the other thing about the programming is variety. I still had this programming deep inside me that was like, but I'm not eating enough variety, and therefore I'm not going to be getting enough nutrients. I was kind of really struggling with what about all the vegetables? What about all the colour on the plate that we're supposed to be having? What about all the fruits that give us all these vitamins and minerals and everything that we've been taught? Even though I knew that fruits are high in sugars, which is carbohydrates, Even though I knew that, I still had these doubts in my mind from the deep programming that says you get all your vitamins from fruits. It's healthy. You've got to eat however many fruits and vegetables every day. And actually, it's going to make me ill if I don't. So I became very aware of that programming still existing in my brain, even though I thought I was further ahead than I actually was. And that was as a result of the support that I've had from the group.
I love the wisdom you shared there, that you had this deep program about the times you should eat, about the portions you should eat, and the variety you should eat. How did you find it eating the primal foods? Talk to us about what your experience was like.
So the first thing, which is why I'm still doing it, is the simplicity. It's not complicated. You eat what you want, what you fancy. It's a very simple way of eating. So you don't have to prepare complicated recipes. You don't have to worry about the variety that you've got on your plate. If you fancy, I don't know, pork belly, there was one point where I was eating pork belly every day for lunch because that's all I fancied. If it wasn't for the simplicity of this way of living, I wouldn't still be doing it, would I? I'm here, there, and everywhere. I'll give you an example. I travel quite a lot at the moment. I had a long day where I had to travel about 3 hours drive to some of my portfolio. I was going from one place to another to get it all fitted into one day. I'd taken some stuff with me, but I knew that I would need to replenish something. So I went to a supermarket. It was fairly late in the evening, and I was able to pick up a packet of beef slices that didn't have anything added to them. There was something else as well. I think it was just some cheese. I was just able to eat the beef slices as it was. You don't need anything fancy. It's just so simple to just pick something like that up. If we're looking for the right stuff, we'll find it. I think it's a simplicity because everything else I've done is definitely more complicated than this. So I love the simplicity of it. So that probably is one big thing. The fact that you can eat what you want within this way of eating, and you start to really learn to listen to your body. That's something I really learned, is like, eat what you fancy. I was forcing myself to eat things because I thought I needed to eat them because of the variety thing. So I was forcing myself to eat eggs every day in different ways, for example. And sometimes I just didn't want them. I was forcing myself to eat bacon. I don't actually really like bacon, and I never have. But because everybody else was eating bacon, I was eating bacon, and I don't like it. It's too salty for me. By just finding the things that I like, and that is the beauty of it. I don't have to eat the things that I don't like, and I'll still be okay. If I can't manage a whole portion of scrambled egg, I eat what I can manage because my body's saying that's enough for me. I fancied some prawns the other day, so I ate a ton of prawns because that's what I wanted. Bone broth. I've got a real craving for bone broth, so I've ordered some because I know that it's got loads of electrolytes and stuff, and I can't wait to drink it. Even talking about it, my mouth is filling up. I can't wait to eat it. So yeah, the foods are foods that I enjoy anyway.
Like myself, you said you used to feel all these cravings, especially in the evenings. In the day, you're fine, you're running around doing your business. But in the evenings, you'd have all these different cravings before you started on the Primal. And so I'd love to hear how your relationship with food has changed and how you feel eating Primal compared with previous.
I didn't even realize, even when you said it about cravings, I was like, no, I didn't have cravings, but I did have cravings for sugar. I was in denial, complete denial. So in the evenings, I've never been a snacker, Stephanie. I know lots of people are, but I've never been a snacker. But in the evenings after work, I would sit down in front of the telly. I think it's boredom, loneliness, whatever it is, emotional eating. I would sit down and think, okay, now I can reward myself with something sweet. My household brings in lots and lots of sweet stuff. I don't even like donuts, but I'll eat them if they're there. I don't even like donuts. Why the hell am I eating them? And number one, it's a habit. So I got into this habit. But number two, this craving, I was in a bit of denial around that. When you eat sugar, you crave more of it and you don't even realize it's happening to you. Of course, if I was eating the stuff that my lovely household were bringing in because it was there, because it was a habit, because there was some emptiness that I was filling. I would do that every night and it just became a habit. The more you do it, the more you kind of want it. I stopped doing that and started just going to bed. Just go to bed. And I learned that from you guys as well, even though I knew it. I had the kind of support and reinforcement to do it. Just go to bed. You don't need to stay up late. Get enough sleep. It's going to nurture your body anyway. So I've been doing that more. And that helped to break the habit. When you break the habit, the cravings stop. Even if I sit in front of the telly, it hasn't even occurred to me to have anything. And I have people coming to me going, do you want a bit of this, Jackie? Dime cake. Oh my God, I love dime cake. But I'm just like, no, I actually don't want it. I did once. I didn't really enjoy it that much, actually. I don't need it. I don't want it. And it's all about what my body needs. And I'm really starting to talk to myself like that. It's what my body needs. I don't want it because I don't need it. Does that make sense? Powerful, very powerful.
It's actually what the GLP-1 drugs like Mounjaro, Wegovy and the others, they make you less hungry, but some of the hormonal things that they make synthetically, that's what we're creating. When we eat meat and animal fats and various other foods, it satiates our body in such a way that we've got all the nutrients we need, so therefore the cravings go down. You don't even want the food. And how easy is it to stay in shape, to stay healthy, to stay vibrant, to keep sharp when you don't even want it? It's very easy.
I know, right? I know. It's amazing, honestly. It's just,
I think that's what makes it easier for people to stay on this way of eating.
I have been yo-yo dieting. I never thought I'd get trapped like that, but I have been doing this for 15 years, probably longer. I've been putting on more weight and getting more unhappy, more frustrated, losing hope and faith that I can actually do this, feeling really trapped, really down on myself, feeling really ashamed, feeling really despondent. I don't now, Steph. I'm just like, I'm ready for it. I can't even get the words out about how this has changed me so much. I've got my faith back in myself and my body, and I know that I can go further. This has just been the kickstart that I needed. Absolutely. Honestly, I'm going to get emotional.
And you mentioned as well that it's not just on the food and health side. You want to take up things that you used to do when you were younger that you never thought you'd be able to go back to. So talk to us about that.
So there are things that happen when you start to put on weight in your body. My body was really inflamed. It was achy. It was bloated, like really bloated. My tummy was stopping me from moving in particular ways. And you kind of adapt your movements. And again, I remember thinking I'm never going to get like that when I used to watch people who were larger, not able to move in the same way as perhaps they wanted to. Doing your shoelaces up, for example, I had to move to the side because my belly was so bloated that I couldn't lean forwards. I couldn't pick things up from the car. If I dropped a pen, that was it. I wouldn't be able to pick up. You start to adapt your movement, getting really breathless and stuff like that. I don't have any of that anymore now because of that. You stop doing certain things. So I stopped even going for walks because I was getting breathless. It was uncomfortable, so I didn't want to do it. That's crazy, right? Because you're perpetuating that sort of health spiral downwards. Walking and feeling uncomfortable, it put me off walking, and I love walking. This has brought me back to thinking, no, I want to do those things now. I want to start dancing again. I love dancing. I want to start moving again. Whereas before, I'd stopped moving quite a lot. Now I've got an energy and a motivation to actually want to start dancing again. Like I haven't felt that for years, and I love dancing. And yeah, just getting out and doing stuff like paddleboarding, doing stuff where I felt really like I can't do that anymore because I'm too heavy. Won't be able to get back on the paddleboard and nobody will be able to help me because I'm too heavy. It stops us doing stuff, doesn't it? And I've got that energy and motivation. It's the motivation. It's the kind of, you're good, Jackie, do it. You can do it. Yeah.
And people will be listening thinking, well, how does what you eat change your mind? But it actually does. Your brain works better. You do feel happier and energetic. We hear that every time. Jackie, what would you say has been the biggest surprise for you doing the 21-day reset?
The biggest surprise and the most valuable thing for me personally is the shift in my mind. Because if you have a shift in your mind, the ripple effect spreads to everything that you do. The big shift that I really, really wasn't expecting, because like I say, I came into this with a bit of skepticism because I've tried so many different things, is that I now have the faith, belief, and motivation to continue. I don't want to stop. I'm so ready to just continue because I feel like my body has responded, and that bodies are so powerful, their own healing machine. It's that growth in my mindset. It's just to feel hope again, because I'd lost it all. I feel that hope again. It's been life-changing for me. It sounds like an exaggeration, and there'll probably be people watching this that are quite skeptical, just like I was. I'm sitting here now thinking 21 days, well, it's now 28 days that we're talking to each other, but at 21 days I was feeling this. It's given me hope. How many people out there have lost hope and continue to eat in a way that's just perpetuating this awful downward spiral in terms of health and conditions? And I don't have any of those aches and pains. They almost disappeared overnight. I can move. I'm flexible. I feel looser.
Yeah.
I feel looser. Everything feels looser. I feel lighter. I've got no bloating. I can bend forwards and pick up a pen from the footwell in the car. I can do my shoelaces up, leaning forwards, not to one side trying to reach. It's been life-changing.
It is brilliant. And so many of us of a certain age can feel like the fizz is going out of your life. But with this way of eating, the fizz comes back in. You feel effervescence, you've got energy, and you can start to feel your best in your body even before you lose all the weight. This happens when the inflammation leaves your body and when your brain is running on the right fuel, which for the brain, carbs is not such an efficient fuel, and we get those slumps and highs. But with this way of eating, your energy feels stable and your brain is able to work more efficiently.
Definitely.
So, Jackie, I love your energy. You've always had great energy, but you said you've seen and you felt much more energy since you started this way of eating. What would you say to someone who is watching this, who is where you were before? What advice would you give them?
Oh, without a doubt, I'd say just get on it. Do the 21-day reset because it's just 21 days. And that's another thing that's really good about this. If this had been a 6-month or, if this had been something like that with no start or end, sometimes programs are like that as well, I probably wouldn't have done it. But it was 21 days, so it felt manageable. And it's that gives you this, wow, I can do this. I'm seeing some results. And then you just want to continue, which is what I'm now doing. So I would say if there are people struggling and they want to get that mind space back, and if people are struggling and they've been stuck in this constant cycle of trying this plan, trying that plan, trying this way of eating, if people are struggling with their motivation because they just think they've got a massive mountain and they're never going to be able to get past it, now it's too late, I would say just do this 21 days because it's just 21 days and just have faith and see where it takes you, because honestly, you can't regret it. It's really life-changing. In 21 days.
Brilliant, Jackie. You now know this way of eating. You know how to eat, what to do, and some of the other primal lifestyle habits. So what made you decide to join the 90-day Primal Body Accelerator as opposed to implement what you've learned on your own?
For me, what was really important is the one-to-one support and the group support and the WhatsApp messages that come through with tips and tricks and stuff like that. Now, I thought, again, I was skeptical because I've done other plans. One particular plan, I had big dark circles under my eyes and I felt tired all the time. It didn't feel right to me. This was a few years ago. So I put my concerns in the Facebook group and everybody else was trying to support me, but none of the mentors were. Like, where was the support? There isn't really any support, and this is very different. The support is definitely there. And again, that's why I joined, because I thought, okay, this is one thing I haven't really tried. This is a different level of support. It's something that the one-to-one calls came at times where I was able to start having thoughts that were going to derail me. Maybe at one point I was questioning the variety on my plate. That is, you can have a conversation and start to really learn about what's happening. I thought I knew quite a lot about myself, and it helped me to see that there was still stuff that I could learn. This is the support that's worked for me, you know, in all the different ways that you provide the support, Steph and Nikki as well, and from the group as well. Everybody's really encouraging. So I want to continue. I've done this 21-day reset. I've got the results. Why would I want to give it up? I feel amazing. I'm ready for this. I know I can get back down to the health and the weight that I want to have and the clearness of mind. I believe it now. So why would I want to stop? And why would I want to stop the support and then potentially derail myself? It's a no-brainer. For me, that's what I value.
Yeah, I agree, Jackie, that many of us do need that one-to-one support, that group support to keep us moving forward. For you, it was actually, if you're not hungry, don't eat. For somebody else who's under eating, it might be you need to eat a bit more.
Yeah.
The one-to-one is very important so that people can get the exact support they need within this framework. Yes, of course. But what we might be saying to you, Jackie, will be totally different from what we'd be saying to somebody else with different symptoms or situations.
Yeah, 100%. That really did it for me. And it's so important for anybody that wants to try it. They've tried other plans where you do not get that support. You might be promised, but you don't get it. Yeah, this is definitely different.
Brilliant. I would just want to say thank you to you, Jackie, because you have shown up for this and you're so honest. When it's not going well, you're honest. When it's going well, you're honest. And we can all see on screen today, or if we're listening, hear the energy and the excitement in your voice. And I want to call out as well that we met this morning at 9 a.m. And before that, Jackie, who previously couldn't bend down, had already been out on her morning walk. She's doing this chat with me now. And then you're off traveling to a speaking gig.
I'm not. No, I've got a day in the office today, but I've done it before though, where I've had this energy for the movement back and found ways. Even if I'm busy, it's very easy to think I haven't got time, but I've so wanted to do it that you find time and then you go off to different things.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us, Jackie. You've been amazing, as you always are. We can't wait to get started on the 90 days. And of course, we'll be back here sharing it all with you afterwards. So it's goodbye from me and also goodbye from Jackie.
Bye. Thanks. It's lovely to talk to you, Steph. Bye.
See you all soon. Bye for now.